Welcome back to the channel. It is amazing to see you as ever. If you have not subscribed, now is a great time to do it. Again, backed by popular demand. So I've started this, this series of videos that are really focusing on nightclub photography, band and music photography, because that's my heritage effectively. And there's so many questions that are being asked to me, and I just want to help as many people as I can. And the best way to do that is by making a YouTube video. When people ask the questions, just direct them here and saying that's my answer to that question. So I made a video about shooting music, like how to get into shooting nightclub photography or band photography or any genre of music basically. And then from the back of that, people were like, well, how do I shoot festivals? And I was like, well, how did I go about shooting festivals? So what I basically did, if you watched my previous video, take all of the lessons from that. And then effectively what I did basically is I'd done some nightclub photography. I built up a bit of a portfolio with some well-known artists, some key artists, and sort of, built a relatively strong portfolio. Then with that portfolio, I went around and started approaching festivals. And I realized really quickly that I couldn't get my foot in the door. And that's because festivals are grand, like there's such a huge scale and there's so much that goes on in terms of like PR and press and all that sort of jazz. They don't just let anybody in. So you have to be what's called accredited. So you can either be accredited if you shoot for a magazine, or you're shooting for a band, or you're shooting for one of the artists or a label or something at the festival. So the question is, how do you get that association and that accreditation? So you can either go and try to work for magazines, and that's a video that's coming later on. So how to go approach magazines and find work, that would be a good entry point into a festival, because then you're being commissioned by the magazine to shoot certain aspects of it. The other way is to shoot for like an online magazine, or even create your own online magazine that focuses around the genre of music you want to shoot, and then you go in and accredit yourself basically. That may not work unless you start to build up a really good following, and then they look at it and see, oh, it's worth accrediting, we want this person to come in and shoot content. But the best way to do it is exactly the same as within the nightclub. Look at a festival flyer, the guys at the top, they're the ones that it's almost impossible to get in with unless you have an existing relationship and they commission you to come in and shoot. So look lower down. Lower down that tier will be artists, okay? So these are obviously not headliner acts, they're sort of like tier B, tier C, tier D, artists along those lines. It doesn't mean they're lesser artists because they're still playing at this festival. So they're great to be associated to and have a working relationship with. Approach these guys, because what will tend to happen at a festival is, especially the artists at this level here, the guys at the top, they all know they're going to get their pictures taken. There's no real need for them to sort of commission people to shoot unless it's like for their personal social media and they want the entire rights of it and something along those lines. But these guys are relying on people at the festival taking pictures of everything. So there's your opportunity once again. So you approach these guys, and just guys or women or whatever they are, you approach them and basically say, hey, look, I know you're playing at this festival. I'd love to shoot it for you, whether it's video or stills. I'll come along, I'll be your exclusive photographer for the day. I'll even shoot beforehand, offer whatever package you have the ability to do. I'm going to offer you it for free. All you need to do is just sort me out a press pass. Great. Hopefully, this artist can then apply for press accreditation for you to come in and shoot the act. That's amazing. You've then got access behind the golden gates of the festival. You've got your photography equipment in, which is amazing. So situation goes, this is the first festival you've ever shot, okay? You're now in a festival, you've got all your equipment, you're super excited. You obviously got a committal to work to these guys, so deliver the best possible work you can for them. They're not going to be playing for 8 hours straight. They're probably going to have a 1, 2, 3, maybe a 4-hour set on a mini stage somewhere within the vicinity. That's great, because once that's done, you then have the opportunity to go and shoot other aspects of the festival. Now this is a bit poachery and a bit sly, but what that's going to do is, again, build the portfolio of festival work. And you can kind of see where we're going with this. You then build this portfolio of festival work. When it comes to festivals later on in that year, or even the next year, use the same trick until you build up this strong body of work, and hopefully you've got a website, you'll have club culture, you'll have festivals, and your array of amazing festival pictures. Now the reason you need this portfolio is because when you go and ask people to come and take their pictures at festivals, the first thing they're going to ask is, can you show me some existing work? You now have this portfolio of existing work you can approach these guys with, knowing in full confidence that you've already done it, you've got content. That gives them confidence in asking you to come along and shoot it, whether it's free or not. You'll get a pass to go to a festival for a day, which is great. You're going to listen to amazing music. It's going to be an amazing day. Hopefully it's the height of summer. You get to do what you love, shooting photography and shooting for these guys. But then you also get to build a bigger portfolio, which in turn is going to get you more work. And again, you use that same process. And hopefully what you can do from the back of that is, and this is an experience that I found, is once I'd shot enough festivals by using that route to market, I then was like, okay, right, Now I've probably got good enough work to approach magazines. So then I was accosting magazines and saying, hey look, I shoot festivals, this is some of my body of work, do you need any photographers to come along and shoot at the event? They'll be like, oh yeah, sure, check the work out, it's great, check the work. They get the confidence side of it. So then you get commissioned by a magazine. Now this is amazing because you're being paid by a magazine, which is great. You're going to a festival to take a picture, you're taking the pictures, these images then get published in a magazine, and that is almost as good as your portfolio. This is published work that you can then use to market yourself even further to a wider audience as a festival photographer. And then just continue using the process until it grows and grows and grows. And you will honestly get to a point where you're not touting for work anymore. People come to you, people are knocking on your door because you're in high demand, because it's a huge skill, it's a really, it's a very difficult task to master, especially the marketing side of it and the technical side of it. If you can do that right, you will become in demand, because there's a lot of people entering the market as music photographers. They enter into music photographer, but they don't have the skill set to be able to go up that ladder and utilize marketing and networking to be able to get to those higher tiers. Hopefully this video will help a lot of people, but there'll always be that percentage of people that will watch a video and they won't go off and use the resource. So by using this video, hopefully you'll identify the opportunities within it. You can use this resource to go and apply that to your own work, and you can get to that point where people are knocking at your door as opposed to you knocking at theirs. So hopefully you found the video really useful. There are more of them to come, so it would be a great opportunity for you to subscribe. If you think this video will help somebody else, give it a share. Share it to as many people as possible, because as I said in the previous video, the best thing you can do as a photographer of any genre is work closely with other photographers that do the same as you. Appreciate each other's work, support each other's work, and share opportunities when they come. So if there's a video that you think will help one of these guys, share it, because they will do the same for you, and that will just broaden everybody's skill set, and everybody gets to this level as opposed to sitting down this level. Until next time guys, it's been a pleasure. Take care.